Bit by bit, the old school culture and character of Bangkok is getting chipped away before our very eyes. Is it all because of commercialism and making money over history and heritage? No, of course it isn't, but it does make up a sizable chunk. Welcome to Vanishing Bangkok. There's a phrase I heard when I was young. It said, there is no sentiment in business. And that is very relevant to what's going on all around us in Bangkok today. And it's a sad state of affairs when people's attitude towards modern glass and concrete structures are that it's a sign of affluence and wealth, a sign that we're becoming a first world country. But that is first world in appearance only. Not long after demolition of the Scala Theatre, they put a fence up around the whole block with some advertising that said, "Something surprising is coming." And I thought to myself, how clueless did you think we really were? We knew as soon as you announced the closure of the Scala Theatre, this was going to be a shopping mall. The last film I saw at the Scala Theatre was An Inconvenient Truth. I think it was 2007. And the title of that film does have some relevance as to how events played out leading up to the closure of the Scala Theatre. Initially they said it would be a small market complex with the cinema actually preserved on the ground floor. Then a few months later they came out and said it would be a bigger market complex with a few shops. And there would be some kind of memorial in this complex to the Scala Theatre. And then when demolition started, it was like the rug was pulled from under everyone. The whole block was razed to the ground. And now we're going to have a central shopping mall in an area full of shopping malls. I'm at Chalem Bao intersection, sitting very comfortably I might add, and this is on the other side of Siam BTS station. This intersection was named after a historic bridge going over the Klong Orachan right here, and the bridge was built in 1905 to celebrate King Rama V's 52nd birthday. and it's just here. You can just about make out the name inscribed in stone, but the rest of the bridge is actually covered by an advertising hoarding. If the rate of development in this city continues the way it is for the next 20 years, then Bangkok will become completely unrecognisable. But just because I moan about new condos, shopping malls and complexes taking over old buildings and neighbourhoods, it doesn't mean I'm against all forms of modernisation. It doesn't mean I want every crumbling shop house down every back soy to be left standing, because sometimes knocking down and starting afresh can be necessary. I'm in Makkasan to have a walk around an area soon to be transformed into something modern and new. In other words, it's going to be under several tons of concrete in the next 5 or 6 years or so. This is part of CP's redevelopment plan for the area. It's been given the green light, and it includes a railway station for the high-speed airport rail link, as well as residential, commercial and business sectors, a green space and a possible railway museum, which we'll come to a little bit later on. Now, this will probably be the final video documentation of the area as it is, unless of course another YouTuber comes and films it after me, which I very much doubt, because these types of geeky videos aren't exactly view pullers. Anyway, less moaning, let's get walking. One of the biggest plots of land around here is home to one of several railway settlements in the area. These were houses built for workers at the Makkasan maintenance depot when it opened in 1910. I'd say half the houses are still occupied and most of them are actually still standing. In 1982, The Clash released an album called Combat Rock, and the photos on the album cover show the band around a railway track. A lot of people assume those photos were taken in this area. There was even a video where a guy was walking around looking for the exact location. I've looked at the background, the landscape and the buildings in the photo. It was probably a few kilometres down the track at Klong Tan, But one thing I do know is that they were staying just down the road here at the Bangkok Palace Hotel. One thing that will keep going throughout all this redevelopment, reconstruction, regeneration is the good old-fashioned Eastern Line. I'm at Makkasan railway station, and from what I read, the Eastern Line can't close until they've extended the light red line from Bang Sue, and that'll be going to Haroon. Now I'm assuming that track will be at ground level for the light red line, because by the time they start construction on that, there won't be any space above for an elevated structure, but we're at least 10 to 12 years away from that. Across the tracks here is Makkasan Railway Maintenance Depot, and I believe it's 4 of the sheds have been given heritage status recently, meaning they can't be demolished, and they will make up part of a new railway museum that is part of the whole Makkasan redevelopment scheme. I know what you're thinking. Here's Bangkok Pat moaning once again. But I think if you want to be a cultural and cosmopolitan city, you've got to have a nod to the old school character, culture and background sitting alongside these glass and concrete monstrosities. Instead of trying to destroy every building and bit of architecture from each era as you creep forward, why not preserve some of it? Kids these days are more worldly wise. They're getting smarter thanks to the internet and social media, and in the future they're going to want to look back. I've come to Haroon Soi 36. It's the street that also has a French name that I can't pronounce, and if I did try, I'd probably sound ridiculous. Now, as you walk down this street, you'll see a series of pretty nice looking old houses. These are houses where the Marine Police and the Fire Brigade used to live, and I visited last year and they were in a pretty run-down state, but I'm very happy to see one of the houses undergoing a very nice looking renovation. I'm sure you'll agree. As you go further down on the right hand side, you've got the entrance to the Haroon Muslim community and the Haroon Mosque. Then on the left, behind the gates, is the French Embassy, a very nice looking modern building, as well as the original old building by the river, all in the shadow of the Oriental Hotel. Then when you come to the very end of the street, you've got the old customs building, and this is in the process of being renovated into some kind of wellness, luxury, spa, resort, hotel, the kind of place that I certainly can't afford to stay at. And this is where the story comes from. This is not about a vanishing building, it's about a potentially vanishing community. So the old customs house was built in 1888 during the reign of King Rama V, and before construction started they had to relocate the original Haroon mosque a little bit inland to where it is now. And the Haroon Muslim community have been in this area for almost 200 years. I read an article in the Bangkok Post that talked about the renovations and the future of the old customs house and how it should be preserved for public use, perhaps turned into a museum and an educational space so the public can enjoy the history and the heritage of this beautiful building. It also talked about the kind of rich clientele this kind of a boutique hotel would attract. How would they feel about hearing the call to prayer from the nearby mosque? Would this cause friction between the Haroon community and the owners of the hotel? And if so, would the hotel then pursue buying the land that this community has lived on for almost 200 years? Call me cynical, but it wouldn't surprise me. It would be another classic case of commercialism over heritage at the expense of the long-standing Haroon community. Well, that just about wraps up episode 1 of Vanishing Bangkok. Lots of the city is disappearing before our very eyes, so I'm pretty sure I'll be doing an episode 2 very soon. Hope you've enjoyed it, hope you found it interesting and educational. Please do subscribe if you haven't already done so, like, share, leave a comment. If you want to support me and support the channel, you can do so via the Buy Me a Coffee link on the screen. There's also links to Ko-fi and PayPal in the description, or you can join the channel and become a member. That just leaves me to say thanks very much for watching, and unless I vanish, I'll see you soon.